Have you ever wondered about the man behind the legend? The name Genghis Khan often conjures images of a ruthless conqueror, a barbarian who left a trail of destruction across Asia and Europe. But is that the whole story? Who was the man named Temujin, who would one day unite the Mongol tribes and build the largest contiguous land empire in history? Today, we're peeling back the layers of myth and legend to find the real Genghis Khan. Born around 1162, the boy who would become the great Khan entered a harsh and unforgiving world. His name was Temujin, and his early life was anything but easy. The Mongolian plateau was a fractured landscape of warring tribes, a constant battle for survival. When Temujin was just 9 years old, his father, a minor tribal chief, was poisoned by a rival clan. This single act of betrayal plunged his family into a desperate struggle. Abandoned by their own tribe, Temujin, his mother, and his siblings were left to fend for themselves on the desolate steppe. They survived by eating roots and hunting small animals. This period of extreme hardship forged an iron will and a deep understanding of loyalty and betrayal that would define his entire life. He wasn't born a conqueror. He was forged into one by the brutal realities of his youth. One of the most dramatic events of his early life was the kidnapping of his young wife, Bert. In a world where raids were common, this was a devastating blow. But Temujin refused to accept her fate. He didn't have an army, but he had something more powerful: charisma and strategic alliances. He reached out to his father's old blood brother, Tagril, and his childhood friend, Jamuk. Together, they mounted a daring rescue mission. This wasn't just about saving his wife. It was Temujin's first major military and diplomatic victory. It demonstrated his ability to inspire loyalty and unite disparate forces for a common goal. The successful rescue of Bert significantly raised his status among the Mongol tribes, marking him as a leader to watch. It was a clear sign that he was destined for more than a life of mere survival. As Temujin's influence grew, so did the tension with his childhood friend and rival Jamuk. They were once blood brothers, but their visions for the future were fundamentally different. Jamuk favored the traditional Mongol aristocracy, a system based on noble birthright. Temujin, on the other hand, championed a revolutionary idea: a meritocracy. He believed that leadership and position should be earned through skill, loyalty, and competence, not by bloodline. This radical concept attracted a diverse following of capable individuals from all social strata who were drawn to his vision of a unified, fair society. Their rivalry eventually erupted into open conflict. The clash between Temujin and Jamuk was more than a personal feud. It was a battle for the very soul of the Mongol nation, a struggle between the old ways and a new, more inclusive future. The culmination of this struggle came in 1206. After years of strategic alliances and decisive battles, Temujin had successfully defeated all rival tribes, including those led by Jamuk. A great assembly, or Kurelta, was called, gathering all the leaders of the now unified Mongol peoples. At this historic meeting, he was proclaimed the supreme leader of all Mongols and given the title Genghis Khan, which likely means universal ruler. This wasn't just a coronation. It was the birth of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan immediately set about transforming the fragmented, warring tribes into a disciplined and unified nation. He established a legal code known as the Yasa, which covered everything from property rights to military discipline. He created a writing system, promoted trade, and established a reliable postal system, the Yem, which connected his vast empire. He was building not just an army, but a state. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: the conquests. There is no denying the brutality of the Mongol campaigns. Cities that resisted were often completely destroyed, and the human cost was immense. But to understand these actions, we must look at them through the lens of 13th century warfare and Mongol strategy. Genghis Khan's primary goal was often to secure trade routes and absorb new territories with minimal bloodshed. His standard tactic was to offer a choice: submit peacefully and be integrated into the empire, retaining local rulers and religions, or resist and face total war. For the Mongols, an oath of fealty was sacred. When a city submitted and then later rebelled, it was seen as the ultimate betrayal, and the punishment was swift and severe. This reputation for absolute retribution became a psychological weapon in itself, encouraging many cities to surrender without a fight. It was a brutal but effective strategy for rapid expansion. Beyond the battlefield, Genghis Khan was a surprisingly progressive ruler for his time. He established a remarkable policy of religious tolerance throughout his empire. As long as the conquered peoples prayed for his health and obeyed his laws, they were free to practice their own faiths, be it Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, or anything else. He understood that a diverse empire was stronger when its people were not forced into a single religious mold. He also valued knowledge and skill, actively seeking out and employing engineers, administrators, and scholars from the lands he conquered, most notably from China and Persia. These experts were crucial in helping him govern his vast and complex empire. This practice of incorporating the best talents from across the world was a key factor in the empire's stability and success. So, how do we reconcile the two faces of Genghis Khan? Was he a bloodthirsty tyrant or a visionary nation-builder? The truth, as it often is, lies somewhere in the middle. He was a product of a violent world, and he used violence to achieve his goals. The destruction his armies wrought is an undeniable part of his legacy, but he was also a revolutionary leader who united a fractured people, created a written language, codified laws, and built an empire that, for a time, connected the East and West like never before, leading to the period known as the Pax Mongol or Mongol Peace. This era saw a flourishing of trade, technology, and ideas along the Silk Road, directly influencing the course of world history. His legacy is complex, challenging our modern, black-and-white view of historical figures. In the end, Genghis Khan was a man of profound contradictions, a nomad who created a sophisticated state, a fearsome warrior who promoted trade and tolerance. He reshaped the world, and his influence is still felt today in the DNA of millions, and in the interconnected world that his empire helped to pioneer. He forces us to ask difficult questions about power, progress, and the price of unity. Perhaps his most enduring legacy is not the empire he built, but the complex conversation his life continues to inspire. What do you think? Was Genghis Khan a villain, a hero, or something else entirely? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more fascinating historical figures, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.